How's it going today, YouTube? Rob here. Today I'm going to be doing another deck profile for you. This deck doesn't really have a theme. It's a bit of a mismatch deck, but it's pretty effective and it's really fun to play. Again, this is super casual and I hope you guys enjoy. If you're new to the channel, consider hitting the subscribe button for more fun content, and as always, if you like the videos, consider hitting the like button and subscribing to the channel. Without further ado, let's get into it. Alright guys, we're going to start this deck profile off with 2 copies of Gale Lizard. Flip, select one monster card your opponent controls and return it to the hand. Next we have 1 copy of Azura Priest. This card cannot be special summoned. This card returns to the owner's hand at the end of the end phase, and this card can attack all of your opponent's monsters during the same turn, but you cannot attack your opponent directly if you attacked any monsters with this card first. Next we have 1 copy of the 6 Samurai Uriza. If you control another 6 Samurai, this card can attack your opponent directly, and if this card were to be destroyed in battle, you can target another 6 Samurai with a different name and destroy that instead. Then we have 1 copy of Cyber Ogre. You can discard this card to the graveyard and negate 1 battle that involves Cyber Ogre on your side of the field, and then Cyber Ogre gains 2000 attack until the end of its next battle. This effect can also be activated during either player's turn. Then we have 1 copy of W-Wing Catapult. This card can be used as a union monster with V Tiger Jet, and it gains an extra 400 attack and defense. V Tiger Jet does if this card is attached to it as a union material. And if V Tiger Jet were to be destroyed, you can destroy this card instead. Then we have 3 copies of Bubonic Vermin. Flip. You can take 1 Bubonic Vermin card from your deck and special summon it on the field. Face down, defense position. The deck is then shuffled. One copy of Majestic Mech Goryu. You can special summon this card by tributing 1 monster. If you normal summon it this way, it is sent to the graveyard during the end phase, and during battle between this attacking card and a defense position monster whose defense is lower than the attack of this card, inflict piercing battle damage to your opponent. Next we have 1 copy of the 6 Samurai Iroh. If you control another face-up 6 Samurai monster with a different name, when this card attacks a monster that's face down in defense position, you destroy that monster immediately without triggering off the other monster's effect. And again, if this card were to be destroyed in battle, you can destroy another 6 Samurai monster you control instead. And then we have 1 copy of the 6 Samurai Zanji. While you control another 6 Samurai with a different name, you can destroy any monster on the field that battles this card after the damage step. And again, if this card were to be destroyed, you can destroy another 6 Samurai you control instead. then we have one copy of the 6 Samurai Yachi. If you control another 6 Samurai, this card can destroy one set, spell, or trap card. If you use this effect, this monster cannot attack. And again, if you control another 6 Samurai, you can destroy it instead of this card if this card were to be destroyed in battle. Next we have one copy of Crimson Ninja. Select one trap card on the field and destroy it. If the selected card is set, pick it up and look at it. If it's a trap card, destroy it. If it's a spell card, put it back to its position. One copy of Kaiser Seahorse. This monster counts as 2 tributes to the tribute summoning of a light monster. One copy of the End of Anubis. As long as this card remains face up on the field, all effects of spell, trap, and monster cards that target a card or cards in the graveyard or that activate in the graveyard are negated. One copy of Invader of Darkness. While this card is face up on the field, your opponent cannot activate quick play spells. One copy of Noble Maneater Bug. Flip, destroy 2 monsters on the field. One copy of Giant Orc. When this card attacks, it is changed to defense position at the end of the battle phase. The position cannot change until the end of your next turn. One copy of Divine Dragon Ragnarok. One copy of Luster Dragon number 2. One copy of Hyozan-Ryu. One copy of Dark Blade. One copy of V Tiger Jet. One copy of Terror King Salmon. One copy of Giant Soldier of Stone. And to round off the monsters, one copy of Summoned Skull. Next we're going to move on to the spell cards. So one copy of Banner of Courage. During your battle phase, only increase the attack of all monsters on your side of the field by 200 points. Heavy Storm. Destroy all spell and trap cards on the field. Megamorph. While your life points are lower than your opponent's, you double the attack of the monster that is equipped with this card. And if your life points are lower than your opponent's, you have the attack of the monster that is equipped with this card. Next we have one copy of Dankito the Cure Master. Increase your life points by 1,000. One copy of Rush Recklessly. Increase one monster's attack by 700 points until the end of the next turn. Until the end of the turn this card is activated. One copy of Monster Reborn. Allowing you to bring back any monster from either player's graveyard. One copy of Wave Motion Cannon. Send this card to the graveyard during your main phase. Inflict damage to your opponent's life points equal to the number of standby phases that this card has been face up on the field, but times 1,000. One copy of Card Destruction. Both players discard their entire hands and then redraw the amount of cards that they discarded. One copy of Fisher. Destroy one face-up monster with the lowest attack on your opponent's side of the field. One copy of Mystical Space Typhoon. Destroy one spell or trap card on the field. One copy of Swords of Revealing Light. Flip all face-down monsters your opponent controls to face up. This card remains on the field for 3 of your opponent's turns. As long as this card is face up on the field, your opponent cannot declare an attack. One copy of Recycle. During your standby phase, by paying 300 life points, select one non-monster card in your graveyard and shuffle that into your deck. Well, sorry, place that on the bottom of your deck. One copy of Griffin's Feather Duster. Destroy all spell and trap cards on your side of the field and increase your life points by the destroyed cards times 500. And to round off the spell cards, we have one copy of Axe of Despair. Increase the equipped monster's attack by 1,000. If the monster is destroyed and sent to the graveyard, you contribute another monster you control and add Axe of Despair to the top of your deck. Now to start off with traps, we have one copy of DNA Transplant. Declare one attribute when you activate this card. While this card is face up on the field, the attribute of all face up monsters becomes the one that you declared. One copy of Fairy Box. Each time a monster on your opponent's side of the field declares an attack, you toss a coin and call heads or tails. If you call it right, the attack becomes 0, and if you call it wrong, the attack obviously goes through. You have to pay 500 life points during your standby phases, and if you don't, this card is destroyed. One copy of Magic Cylinder. Basically just inflict damage to your opponent equal to the attack of the monster that attacked you. One copy of A Hero Emerges. When your opponent declares an attack, you can activate this card and your opponent selects one card in your hand. If it is a monster, you can special summon it. If it isn't, send it to the graveyard. One copy of Numinous Healer. You can only activate this card when you take battle damage and increase your life points by 1,000. And if you have any other Numinous Healers in your graveyard, you can increase your life points by 500 for each one. Next we have one copy of Negate Attack. When your opponent declares an attack, you can negate the attack and end the battle phase. Then we have one copy of Trap Hole. When your opponent normal summons a monster with an attack of 1,000 or more, destroy the monster. One copy of Regiki Break. You discard one card and destroy one card on the field. And finally, to round off the traps and this deck, we have 1 copy of Sakuretsu Armor. When your opponent declares an attack, destroy the attacking monster. And that's it for this deck. Alright guys, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed. I am hoping to do more videos in the coming week. I have 2 more copies of Battle of Legends coming in, and 1 booster box of Eternity Code that I will be opening up on the channel for you. So stay tuned for that, and as always, I will see you in the next one, and that's game.